Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to talk about Avatar The Last Airbender, which is arguably one of the best animated TV shows of all time, like ever, and my top favorite to be honest. And it has a power system, one of the best power systems ever, which is bending. In Avatar The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra, there are four main elements: water, earth, fire, and air. But each of these elements branch out into many different types of bendings or abilities of bendings called sub-elements. Each element has a different type or different types of sub-elements. Sub-elements are basically just simple branches of the main element. I'm gonna start with water. I'm going to go from easiest or least advanced or least common to the most common and more advanced. First, we got healing. I'm going to also talk about who invented and who's the best or arguably the best at each sub-element. For example, healing. We don't exactly know who invented it, and the best is probably Katara. Has many different branches. Mostly it helps for when open wounds like uh, injuries like scratches, sword, blade thingies. Anything that is fresh and is a wound that's not like, for example, like healing has its limits. For example, it can't heal someone's scars like Zuko's scars, and it can't heal born with conditions like Toph's blindness. My healing is very common to be honest. It mainly depends on the skill of the user, but in some very special cases, the property of each of the water itself make the healing more effective. For example, in Avatar The Last Airbender, we learned that water from the Spirit Oasis is better for healing or can do more. It's more effective basically. Also, I'm going to talk about heart freezing, which is only in the Kyoshi novels. Um, it's basically it's used to slow down someone's heart so that like you can heal it or like heal the wound or heal something that the patient has faster and with less risk. But of course, Kyoshi, as we know her, used it to her advantage and used it to kill someone. Next, ice. Ice is also very common. There are a lot of we don't really know who invented it, as the same in healing, but we do know who may be the best at it. It's either Katara or Katara. I mean Ice. Okay, I got confused there. Okay, it's either Master Paku or Katara. A lot of people might argue, but I'm staying on Katara's side to be honest. Although Master Paku is still like great in it. It's lethal if used correctly and is easier than most other sub-elements of water. Mud bending. Its best user is Toph. I don't know if that counts, but I'll count it since it's the best user. It's a mix of water and earth, basically. It's just basically waterbenders and earthbenders can both manipulate it by each of them controlling what they can control. For example, earthbenders, they control the pieces of earth inside of the mud, and waterbenders bend the water inside of it. Now, steam or water vapor bending, okay? It's useful but not that much. It's only really useful if you want a distraction or cover from fighting. But other than that, it's not that useful. Now, temperature control. We don't really know who invented it, but in my opinion, I think Katara is the best temperature bender, temperature control sub-element controller. Yeah. It's good for survival, especially if like you're in hot weather or cold weather. You can control the temperature around you and around like the liquids inside your body so that you can bring back to a nice warm 37 degrees Celsius. And it's also useful, for example, uh, like if there's like chains and you need to break it easily, you can just freeze it and then break it easily, way more easier than just breaking the chain itself. So yeah. Now, plant bending. It's a little bit more hard than the rest that I mentioned before. It really just bends the water inside the plants, like vines or trees. It can like you can take the water from inside vines or trees, and I think the best user of this plant of this sub element is who? The vine bender in the swamp tribe. Inventor, I'm not really sure who invents it, but I'm pretty sure it's Hama, to be honest. Now, spirit bending. It's way more advanced. It changes the spirit's energy from light to dark, and vice versa, or uno reverse, as I like to say. It's really useful. For example, when Korra used it to defeat Unalaq, the best, either Unalaq or Korra. To be honest, I'm pretty sure I'm leaning to Korra more, but whatever you think, guys. I'm just the person with the mic here. And who invented it? Unalaq. He used he studied spirits for a long time to try to like figure out how to control energy inside a spirit's body. Now, blood bending. It's one of the more darker sides of water bending. Unlike healing and plant bending, temperature control, and all the rest, this really really on the dark side of water bending. It's extremely advanced and mimics a puppeteer controlling a puppet. In my opinion, the best users of this sub-element is either Aman, Yakone, or Tarlock. To be honest, I think it's Aman, since he could do something that is really rare, take someone's bending away with just blood bending. We don't know exactly how, but we know that he did it. Now, psychic blood bending. Very, very, very advanced. It's invented by Yakone and best by Aman. It's even darker than blood bending. It controls the blood inside of someone's body without moving the person. The user doesn't need to move, just thinks it or does it with his head. Okay, now moving on to earthbending. Earthbending has a lot of sub-elements. First one, which is in my opinion the easiest one, mud bending. As I said with mud bending in water, it's a mix of water and earth. Best user, in my opinion, Toph, and is unknown who invented it, but I'm pretty sure Toph. Okay, and seismic sense. Toph invented it and is the best at it. Okay. It can detect lies and is kind of similar to how a bat uses echolocation to see. Vibration TOF or any seismic sense user senses the vibration in the earth that is under them, either if it's metal, which I'm going to talk about later, or normal earth. They sense the vibrations and tell where everything is with detail that even human eye can't see. They can see for hundreds of meters underground, and to be honest, very, very underrated. Now, sand bending. Best Tough. Who invented it? The Sand Villagers. Sorry if I said their name wrong. uh, Sand bending mimics air bending. It's easier and controls small grains of earth. As we know, sand is just small grains of rocks that are basically crushed together. And yeah, sand benders just control that. Crystal bending. Crystal bending is very unknown. We don't get a lot of context about it. But in my opinion, the best is Boomy, and who invented it? I think it's Boomy. It's not that useful. It's like basically just normal earth bending, maybe a little bit stronger, like more durable. But other than that, I can't really think of how it's little better. Okay, metal bending. It's more advanced than what I have said before. Best is Toph Beifong. Invented Toph Beifong. It controls the refined minerals inside of metals, and that's what earthbenders use. But there's one type of metal that no earthbender, even Toph, can bend: platinum, because it's very fine and has almost no traces of actual earth chunks inside of it. Now, lava bending. Lava bending. Lava bending, it's very controversial. A lot of people say that The Legend of Korra ruined it because it was before thought to be only an Avatar thing, since it was a mix of earth and fire. But in The Legend of Korra, we were introduced to Gazan, who invented lava bending without being the Avatar, and showed us that lava bending was real to non-avatars. In my opinion, the best is Bolin, and lava bending is just heated up rocks. Like really heated up rocks. Okay, now we're getting to some that I think most of you don't even know, to be honest, because I studied the comics for days just to make you this video. Right now, it's 8 a.m. Thank you for your time. A subscribe would be nice. Okay, next up, glass bending. Kyoshi invented it, and I think he's the only person who ever did it, to be honest, so I'll put her as best. It's basically, since we know glass is just melted down sand and sand is crushed up earth. It's very, very fine, like it's very hard. Imagine sand bending like 300 times hard. Now, pigment bending. You, from Kyoshi, the novels of Kyoshi, is the only one known to bend pigment, which is basically paints that are based on earth or like rocks, like lapis, stuff like that. Basically, he could control colors. Another thing, technically this wasn't a sub-element, no one did it, but I'll just put it in the video just so everything can be in. Bone bending was bone bending, like the minerals inside someone's bones, was talked about in the novels of Kyoshi, but never actually used by anyone and never even tried by anyone. Now, immortality. A lot of people think that this is not a sub-element of Earth, but I think it is, to be honest, because in the Kyoshi novels, we know that Kyoshi lived for more than 200 20 years or something. I think it's 235. I'm not really sure. She lived a long time, like over 200 years, okay? And she was a good earthbender. Yeah. So, and she had a friend in her team avatar quotation marks um that like was technically immortal. He was 500 years old. I don't really know. Okay. And then the last one from earthbending before we go to firebending is, drumroll please, liquid earthbending, which is weird. So hold up with me here. Okay. You from the Kyoshi novels, okay? As we some people know, okay, he was the false avatar, meaning that he was thought to be the avatar, but then was discovered that he wasn't. Bummer. But why do you think people actually thought that he was the avatar? Because he could control, like, earth and make it look like water. He was basically earth water bending. Like, water on one hand, earth on the other hand, and then merge them together, you got you. So yeah. Now firebending. Okay. Heat control. It is basically just controlling heat. Nothing really. It's like it showed that Sozin did it in Avatar: The Last Airbender in the flashbacks of the Avatar Roku. We see that Sozin like tries to cool down the volcano lava with heat control. So it's basically just yeah, that's it. Nothing much to it. The inventor, we're not sure. I wouldn't think it's Sozin to be honest, because it's something way too easy to discover to be just Sozin and not anyone before it. Lightning redirection. Now, lightning redirection was invented by Uncle Iroh by studying waterbenders and how they let energy flow through their body. But it is very, very dangerous. You have to make the lightning your humble guest, and you're the lightning's humble guest, humble host. Sorry, uh, and it's very dangerous. You have to go from the hand that the lightning went into to your stomach, and then out from the other hand. It's very dangerous because if it goes to your heart, it could be fatal. So yeah, I think the best is either Uncle Iroh or Zuko. You guys decide that in the comments, if there is any. Blue fire. Blue fire. Azula is the best blue fire bender. It's stronger and harder to and more precise than normal orange fire. Okay, but she wasn't the first because in Roku's novels or comics, we learned that when Roku and Sozin go into the spirit cave, he can bend blue fire, even though it was very hard for him, even though he's the Avatar. He could also bend iridescent fire, which I'll come to in a second. Now, lightning bending. Best, Ozai, in my opinion. It is referred to the cold-blooded fire, and is very precise, needs a very precise user to hold its immense power. We don't know who invented it, or who actually made it, but I think the best is Ozai, or Azula, one of them. Ooh, or Iroh. Okay, that's a big argument there, also in the comments. Now, iridescent fire. This fire was invented, I think, by the dragons, and the dragons were technically the only. No. The dragons were the first people to do it, and were the best people. First creatures to do it, and were the best. Even though Roku, as I said before, while in the spirit cave, could bend iridescent fire, it was very hard. Um, it yeah, it's one of the pure firebenders. Now combustion bender. Kablow, kaboom. The best, I'm pretty sure it's Pauline, combustion woman. You know why? You don't like Sparky Sparky Booman was my favorite character. One of my favorite characters. But still, we're unsure where it comes from, how it works, and it comes from the mind. It like absorbs air from around, and then it uses that air to focus on a target, and then boom. Okay, and it's very very rare. Person who invented it, we don't know, but we do know one of the first people we know that used it, which were the combustion benders in Yang Chen, in the Yang Chen novels, while they were trying to kill her. Speaking of Yang Chen, she's the one who invented and the best, and I think the only person to bend sound amplification from airbending. Okay, we have entered airbending territory. It makes sounds way louder. That's basically it, and is very rare, very hard to manipulate. Manipulate. Okay, and Yang Chen actually busted one of her friend's eardrums, and that friend was deaf for the rest of his her life. Sorry, but we are not coming here to know this. We are coming here to learn information. So, next up, flight or levitation. Zahir was the best, I'm pretty sure, in my opinion. And Guru Lahima was the person who invented it. Even though there were definitely other flying flying humans up in the earth, but the earliest one we know, Lahima. Lahima. Nice name, bruh. Nice name. All we know about flight is that there's no physical bending involved, and you must let go of your earthly tether. Okay, spiritual projection. Genora. I think Genora is the best and the only and the person who invented it. I think she did it by accident though. Okay, it's very spiritual, as you can tell from the name. There's nothing really to it. Basically, your soul comes out of your body and goes to a place where you're focusing, like to a person or like somewhere near you. Like, for example, when Jinora used it to find Kai or Korra in the fight between Unavatu and Korra. So basically, yeah. And Jinora, fun fact here, Jinora, since she in the comics, she learns how to airbend while being in spiritual projection, which to be honest, Aang can't even do. Nice work, Genora. Nice work. Your dad taught you well. Okay, next, suffocation. Very, very dark. Okay. It's basically, there's nothing to it. Zahir is the person who invented it. No, I mean the best. And Yang Chen was the person who invented it. Very, very dark. And it's basically just taking the air from your lungs. That's it. That's basically it. And then vacuum bending. Basically the same. It just takes the air everywhere and creates a vacuum that you can control to your desires, and it stops combustion benders from being able to combustion bend. That's a fun fact there, so you can just throwing it out there. Last but not least, most of you don't even know this. Room air draining, which is basically also similar to vacuum, making the whole room no air in it. So yeah, it basically just kills anyone that's in. Yang Chen was a monster. She never used it and she never wanted to make anyone know about it, but she was a monster, bro. Why are you learning all of this? Okay, so thank you so much for watching. Please hit a like and subscribe. It doesn't harm you or do anything to you, and really helps a small creator out like me. So, thanks a lot. Bye.